Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. The Charles Novell School of Music will be coming to Arkansas this fall, October 10th and 11th, for a Friday evening and all-day Saturday training opportunity. During the weekend, you can study voice, instrumentation, songwriting, performance, social media, and more. Private lessons are also available during the weekend, where once again you can study in your area of emphasis. CNS will also be coming to Cincinnati, Ohio this November 14th and 15th, once again for a Friday night and all-day Saturday training opportunity. CNS is the place to ask the right person the right question to get the right answer. We want to see you succeed in your music and in your ministry. You can find out more information and register for these events by visiting us at www.cnsmusic.com. We hope to see you there. Hey, Rob here. Welcome back to another episode of the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. Hope you're doing well. Hope this finds all well with you. I want to apologize. We were off last week. Just a lot has been happening. We're going to shed some light on that today. A lot has happened. August the 4th, Monday, August the 4th, we opened registration for CNS 26. That was exciting. We had record early registration this year. We're still in early registration. However, we had put out a kind of an incentive to our students that register for that early bird registration. There is something new that we will be doing at CNS 26 this next summer that we're really, really excited about offering. Just kind of a new spin, a new addition to our curriculum. We're constantly looking for new ways to do the same old thing at CNS. And what I'm guilty of, I will confess in front of you, but more importantly in front of God, that my biggest fault in directing the Charles Novell School of Music is I try to pack too much into 1 week, because I want everyone that attends to learn as much as possible. So we're always looking for new things, new spins on kind of what we do. We never reinvent the wheel. We just kind of keep polishing the rims and putting some armor on the tire to clean that wheel up. So early registration was great. It was very, very exciting. That was Monday, August the 4th. Tuesday, August the 5th was my birthday. Yay. And that's always an exciting time. And then came Wednesday, August the 6th, and y'all, the bottom fell out. If you do listen weekly, I've shed some light over the last, 6 weeks or so, as to a little bit of the journey that God has had us on. And man, it literally has, I love how God works in my life. It's usually on the backside of something that he clearly reveals why he wanted me to go through that. And multiple times in my life, it has been a lesson in trusting him. Most recently, these last 6 weeks or so, it's been continuing to trust in him, but to trust him in the middle of the process. And so we're gonna talk on that today. We're specifically, kind of by title, we're talking on trusting God, what it means to trust God, how we trust God, and benefits of trusting God. So let me catch you up, or give you the Paul Harvey, the rest of the story to kind of recap, again, August 4th was great with opening CNS registration. We have more students registered this time of year than we've ever had, and that's just super, super exciting for me as the director. Honestly, you all, not from a business standpoint, but from a ministry standpoint, this is going to tie into what we're going to talk today as well. CNS, we 100% are here to help people fine-tune what they do unto the Lord. So this is ministry for us. Yes, there is a business side to ministry. However, the exciting thing about so many students registered earlier is that much more of a headache that we're going to be able to give the devil, because we are continuing to equip people to go out and minister, which makes his job harder because we're doing God's work. We're doing the right thing. Birthday was good. And then Wednesday. So Wednesday, here's what happened on the Wednesday. My my air unit went out in my house after we had put close to $1,200 in it twice. It was 2 different repairs over the summer. We got that, hey, it's gone, it's dead, it's time to be replaced. And nobody wants to go through that, obviously, but at the same time, it made sense because we have lived in our home for 20 years. July was the unfortunate 20th anniversary of us living in hot Atlanta. Not real crazy. I tell people this, I have a house in Georgia, but man, this is a transplanted Yankee that you're listening to. My home is Cincinnati. My home is Go Bearcats is Ohio. And, but we've lived here 20 years. So it made sense. And the house was about, I think 9-10 years old when we bought it. So 30 years. Yeah, it's time to replace the unit. So we were investing another $6,000 in a new unit after we had spent $1,200 over the summer previous month prior to that. So August 5th, again, I mentioned, was my birthday here in Georgia. We have what we call emissions testing. We have to renew our tags for our automobiles on our birthday. And before we can go to the tag office, or the neat thing here and I'm sure, I mean, it's 2025, but I've been in Georgia 20 years. We have electronic kiosks in our Kroger where we can go in and just take care of things electronically. But before we can do that, we have to have this emissions testing. Basically, it's this, you all. You pull up to this place and you pay them $25 to hook a cable up to your car's computer, and they read your car, you pass or you fail, then you go and pay $20 to get the sticker to renew, to update your tags and to put that little sticker on the back of your car. But here's the thing with emissions. If your check engine light is on, there's no need in showing up for emissions because you're going to fail. So my birthday was the 5th. We were gone that previous week, just kind of a little into the summer getaway, just to kind of recoup from the busyness of the summer. We went to Ohio. It was kind of a staycation. We wanted to go home, visit Jen's family, and my mom went home to spend some time with her sister and her family there. And so we took my mom's car. And when we got back into town, I got in my car, and my check engine was light. My check engine light was on. Of course, the perfect timing, right? So I took my car in to get it looked at a local, just kind of franchise repair shop here close to my house. They've done a lot of work for us, changed a lot of oil, fixed things over the years. So I took it into them and was, hoping for the best. They had it about a day and a half. I get a call from them and they're like, Rob, we can't fix this. You need to take it to the dealer. So that never sounds good. So I called. Took me a couple days to get it into the dealership. I had an appointment on that Wednesday, the very day they're putting that new air unit in my house. So took the car into the dealership and dropped it off. I get home and I'm home 30 minutes and the phone rings and it's the dealership. I'm like, wow, that was quick. And it was this girl. Her name was Chloe, and she said, "Rob, this is Chloe from the Nissan dealership. I'm calling because we love that car of yours. It's beautiful. We want to buy that car back from you. I'm part of the VIP buyback incentive program, and would you be interested in getting a top dollar trade-in value quote for your car when you come to pick it up for service today?" Well, my first thought was this: if I wanted a new car, why would I have it at service right now? And I told her, I said, "No, look, I'm just kind of interested in getting it fixed, not really looking to trade cars right now. We didn't owe anything on the car. That's always a nice season when you don't have a car payment." So I said, "No, not interested in that." So I don't know, guys, an hour later, I get another call from the car dealership, or from the service department, and they share the news with me that I need a new engine in my car, and quoted me $16,000 to put a new engine in my car. Same day that I'm putting a $6,000 air unit in my house. And so me and God were talking. Let me be real honest. I was asking God a lot of questions, and I believe this way. I believe, just like my relationship that I have with my earthly father, and just like the relationship that I want to have with my kids as a father now, lots of questions. Dad and I would spend lots of time asking questions about things. I believe our relationship with our Heavenly Father is the same way. I believe we can ask Him questions all day. We just can't question Him. We simply can't question Him. We can question maybe the circumstance, the situation. So, yep, I was asking a lot of questions that day. Why? Why? So, I'm like, no, So they emailed me, and there was this form that I had to approve or disagree, or approve or disapprove the suggested rate of service of a $16,000 engine. So I said I disagreed to that. I did not approve that. My response was, can we just put 3 of them in there? At $16,000, just put me 3 engines in there. That's such a good deal. So no, I went and picked it up, and I was referred by some friends to a mutual friend that does car work. And I'm like, you know what? Jen and I talked, and we're like, okay, let's get it to this guy, let him assess things, and then we go from there. So I called the guy and spent an hour on the phone with him. I've got a code reader, so I hooked it up to the code. I gave him all the codes that were coming up, and he's kind of going through things, and he's like, you know what, Rob, I think it's a little premature for them to say you need a new engine. I think I can fix this. Can you get the car to me? I'm like, absolutely. When do you need it? And he said, well, I'm really snowed under right now. If you can give me a couple days, maybe Tuesday of next week. I'm like, that's perfectly fine. So went through the weekend. Tuesday came. I called him. He was still busy. He asked for an extra day. I'm like, not a problem. I called him that day. He was still busy, needed an extra day. I'm like, not a problem. So the end of that week on a Friday, I took him the car and dropped it off. And in the meantime, Jen and I had been talking. I started looking, even though I did not want to, started looking at new vehicles, and found one that I like. We like to do the certified pre-owned route, low mileage. Car's already kind of taken a hit, maybe a couple years old, and that's worked well for us. So I found a car. I fell for it, y'all. There was a little button that said, unlock the price now. So I clicked the button, and then it said, if you'll just give us your email and we will send you the instant quote. I'm like, okay. So I gave him the email, and the response was, one of our technicians will reach out to you shortly. Well, within 2 minutes, my phone dinged again, and I had a salesman email me, and he left a number. So I did. I called him. particular car I was looking at. We talked about it. He's like, how can I help you? I said, hey, what's the best price you could do on that car? And he said, well, that's a loaded question. My sales manager already thinks it's the best price on the car, or he wouldn't have priced it at that. And I'm like, yeah. And born at night, but not last night. I've bought cars. So, he didn't want to wheel and deal over the phone. He wanted me to come in. And so I set an appointment with him for that next day, was going to go in and look at a car. And so I got in that evening and was sharing that with Jen. And she's like, hey, let's not jump to the gun. We haven't heard from this guy yet. Let's not pull the trigger. I'm like, no, I'm just going to go look at a car. But I ended up not going the next day to look at that car. So we kept waiting on this guy. By now, a week had went by. He had the car. We hadn't heard from him. And started wondering again why. Just kind of uncertainty. So at this point, there was a couple things that started weighing on my mind. The first being this. We made a decision after CNS 25. We've been taking a couple vehicles to the school each year because my car is completely loaded down with gear, equipment, necessary things that we need for the week at CNS. And my mom and Jen have been driving a separate car because there's not room in my car. I tried bungeeing them, or made the suggestion of bungeeing them to the top, and that did not go over well at all with my wife and my mom. So we made a decision coming home from CNS 26 that we were going to purchase a trailer. And so God began to move in this situation. And Jen and I, we went out to my mom's. Mom lives about 25 minutes away. And I had already looked at a few things right after the school. And between my house and my mom's house, there were two lots that we could go by that I could show Jen kind of what I was thinking, what I was looking, what I was planning on doing. And she said, wouldn't it be great if we could find someone that we knew selling a trailer like what we need, and, we could trust them and maybe get a better deal. And I'm like, man, that sounds great. So we went out, we visited my mom, we come back that evening, and we were in bed getting ready to go to sleep, just talking, and my phone rang or buzzed. And I got that proverbial, who is texting you at this time? So I looked, and it was one of our staff members at CNS, Jim Quayles. And cool God moment here. He said, hey, they are in the process of moving from Michigan to Myrtle Beach. And he said, hey, after we get our final trip from Michigan to Myrtle Beach, I'm not going to need my trailer anymore, and I'm going to sell it. Do you know anyone looking for a trailer? Ding, 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 perfect timing. So I responded, yes, I need it. And part of it is a situation his HOA would not allow him to have it within his neighborhood. And there was kind of a time frame. He was still processing between the end of June and the 1st of September. He was go back and forth, moving stuff in it. So he needed it. But kind of the 1st of September, he would not need it. Perfect timing, because I need it for the Quartet convention, which is next week, right? September 21st. So he's going to hang on to it till the 1st of September. Not a problem. So catch back up to the car situation. Started weighing at me. I didn't have any way to go to Myrtle Beach and pick up a trailer because my car is with a mechanic to get a third opinion. He thinks he can fix it. My car is with the mechanic. Now we're 2 weeks in. I've not heard from him. I've called him a couple times, and each time I'd call him, it would be, yeah, I'm going to get on that tomorrow. Sorry, just been busy. And so then the second thing that started getting to me was Quartet convention. If I didn't have a card, couldn't get the trailer. Once again, we had planned on first trip out with the trailer to NQC because we have to take a couple cars to NQC because once again, for our booth and everything I need during the week, my car's loaded, no room for Mom and Jen in the car with all of our luggage and all of the booth material. And in review, they frowned upon the suggested idea to be bungeed to the top of the car. So all this is starting to weigh on me. And so we get 3 weeks in. This guy had not even looked at my car. And the Sunday night, Labor Day, Monday, the Sunday night before, I finally get a call from the guy. And he said, "Hey, Rob, the engine is fine. There is nothing wrong with the engine." Praise God. Thankful for that. But he begins to share with me what he did find. And a couple things that were tripping the check engine light were some sensors that needed replaced. They were positioned to where the engine was going to have to be lifted to get to them. It would take, some time. And, auto mechanic labor fees aren't cheap. And honestly, they're well deserved because they know what they're doing. And I don't. So then the other thing, one of the parts was going to be close to $1,000. And so then he said, but that's not going to fix the whole problem. Complete timing chain overhaul needs to be done on this car. 160,000 miles on that car. It just, the investment, it wasn't 16,000, but it was 8,000. And at that point, Jen and I made a decision, you know what? Let's just, we'll trade it in. We'll get something new. So I reached back out to that salesman that I had talked to 3 weeks earlier. And, no, I take that back. I had been looking, online and this whole time I was just kind of looking and preparing in case this was the outcome. I began looking, and 3 days prior to us getting the decision on that car, that same car that I had started looking at with that salesman, that dealership had a very similar car that came in, better color for us. We liked it. And just a better deal, lower mileage, cheaper, about $5,000 cheaper. And so we made the decision on that Sunday night, got off the phone with the mechanic. Jen and I talked, and we decided, let's see what we could do about potentially getting a new automobile. So as I went to bed that night praying, I literally said, God, give me a sign in the morning when I wake up, just for peace of mind. Been going through the process. I'm trusting you in the process, but Rob does not want to get his agenda in the way of your plan, God. I want to trust the process for your plan for my life, for my family, for this car, for the situation that we're in. So I woke up that morning and woke up to my phone dinging, and I looked over, and it was that salesman, and hadn't talked to him for a couple weeks. And he's like, "Hey, would you like to come out and look at that car?" And I hit him back and I said, "You know what? Are you open today?" It was Labor Day. He said, "Absolutely, I'm here." And I said, "Yeah, I'll be out." So we set an appointment. I went out there. I pulled in, and so actually there were two cars there that I could look at. And the one we had started with, he had it pulled up front. He had washed it, had it all cleaned up, and great curb appeal. So I got out of the car and I said, "You know what? I would love to get this car. However, you just got one on the lot 3 days ago, and it's kind of a better fit for us." And he's like, "Which one was that?" And I told him, and he didn't even know the car was there. It was so new that there was just a stock photo online. They hadn't had time to take pictures of the car, I found out. So he didn't even know it was there. And so we got in the one car that he had waiting on me, which was beautiful, and we drove through the lot and we found it. And we got out and started looking at it. He got some numbers, went in, got a key. And so he come back out and we test drove the second car, and we come back and he's like, "Would you like to go in and talk some numbers on it. And I'm like, yep, let's do that. So we went in, and y'all, I love and I despise buying a car all at the same time. All at the same time. I enjoy the game part of it, but I hate the game part of it. But I am not going to be taken advantage of. I'm going to go in there with, have 3 or 4 phrases that I have historically used when I purchase an automobile, and just let them know that I'm going to be nice about it, but we're going to get to where I want to be relatively quickly, or they're going to watch me walking out relatively quickly. So we started working through the numbers. Long story short, we got everything where I wanted it. And we agreed, and there was just a couple things. I needed a hitch on this car to go get this trailer. The other vehicle we had looked at had a hitch on it. It was it was a Platinum. It was the top of the line Nissan Pathfinder, their Platinum edition. Already had a hitch on it. The one we were looking at wasn't. It was a model down, no hitch on it. So I just wanted to verify before we finalized everything that I could have a hitch installed on that. He said, yes, we could do that here at the dealership, but it would cost you, 3 times as much as if you just went to U-Haul, had them install a hitch. I've done that several times over the years. So we got the numbers where we needed to get. He turns me over to the finance guy. We start walking back to his finance office, and he looked at me and said, Pathfinder, you must like Pathfinders. You're trading one and getting a new one. I'm like, yeah, the last one was a great vehicle. It did well for us. So, yes, we're getting a Pathfinder. And he said, 161,000 miles. He's like, what do you do? And I said, I drive. And he's like, well, yeah, I get that, but no, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm in music. He said, really? What kind of music? I said, well, specifically Christian music. And those are ministry miles. And what he said next. Hey, everybody. Rob Novell with the Charles Novell School of Music. CNS 26 is already off and rolling. Will take place June 21st through the 27th at Bethel University in McKenzie, Tennessee. Registration opened August the 4th, and we're waiting on you. CNS is a place where you can develop your life, your music, and your ministry. Make plans now, save the date, and join us for CNS 26. What he said next literally all blew my mind. He said, ministry, really? I said, yeah. He said, so you're putting this new vehicle back into ministry? I said, yes, sir. He said, he stopped cold in his tracks, and he looked at me. He said, look, you've obviously done this before. We're going to go in here. You know what happens next. I'm going to try to upsell you on this and have you add this protection and this plan and this warranty. And he said, when we get in there, would you give me 5 minutes to get on my computer and do something? And I'm like, yeah. What are you going to do? He said, I just feel led. We're going to get you a better rate than what you agreed upon. So we go in there. He took the 5 minutes, and y'all got to have been working through all this. He just kept smiling, and the guy cut our APR completely in half from what I had agreed to walk in there. In doing so, he was able to add all those perks and packages and warranties, and it just upped my payment $20 a month from what I had agreed to, and kind of complete coverage and moving forward, little extra peace of mind. Car's a couple years old, has low mileage on it, but still this extends warranties and all of that good stuff. So man, God just, I like literally started tearing up at how good God can be when we trust him in the process. He knew the entire time. Why did that guy have my car for 3 weeks? Because that car that we bought wasn't on their lot yet. I didn't know that 3 weeks earlier, but had I went ahead when I found the first car and went in that next day, had Jen not said, hey man, let's not pull the trigger yet, let's wait and hear from the guy, then Rob's agenda would have got in front of God's plan the entire time. So finalized the deal on the car, everything. I set an appointment the next Tuesday to take it to U-Haul, get a hitch put on. So that Tuesday rolled around. I go to U-Haul, I walk in, and it took me, you all, this is Atlanta. It took me, I had to go 17 miles to get to the U-Haul dealer. It took me an hour and 12 minutes to get there. Wonderful Atlanta traffic. Once again, part of this process of patience and trusting God that he had me on. So I get in there and the manager says, hey, we can install this hitch on your car, but I need you to know this. What's going to happen after we finish the install, as you're pulling out of the lot, the check engine light's going to come on. You'll take it to your dealer. They're going to tell you that your warranty is void because someone has altered and tampered with the wiring on your vehicle. I'm like, what? So I called the dealer. Called for my salesman. He wasn't in. So the receptionist, she put me with service, and I began to explain the situation to her, and she just simply said, well, look, we can install a hitch for you for $2,000. Yep, about 3 times what the salesman told. He was honest with me, about 3 times what I was getting ready to pay there at U-Haul. So I left U-Haul. Between my U-Haul and back to my house, I had to go right past that dealership. So I pulled in there, not upset, not mad, not hot, nothing like that. We've talked before about act and reaction. I didn't go in there. Y'all, next to my salvation, my testimony is my most prized possession. So the guy had already worked the deal out for me because the car was going to be in ministry, right? So what do? Am I supposed to go in there and practice being Pentecostal, start laying on hands on people and practicing that 5-fold ministry? No, I went in, just needed some questions answered. So I get with the general sales manager, explain the situation to him. He goes out, looks at my car just to make sure there wasn't a hitch on there. Like I can look at the back of the car. There's no hitch on the car. But he climbed under it. I had actually done that, but I didn't know. So I let him do his thing. He come back to me and said, hey, give me a few minutes here. So he was gone about 15 minutes. He came back and he had talked to the owner of the dealership. And he said, Rob, here's the situation. We are willing. Do you remember that original Platinum that was $5,000 more? We're willing to trade you even to keep you happy as a customer. Y'all, once again, I just kind of froze. And it was this gentleman named Quinn telling me this, just like it was a salesman named ADN telling me, hey, I'm going to cut your rate in half. But literally, as they're speaking to me, I heard the voice of God, because it wasn't them doing this. This was God doing this for me, being patient, trusting him in the process. So the next thing that happened, he said, we're willing to eat that $5,000 and keep you happy as a customer. So yeah, it's tempting to go up to that Platinum model, but here's the thing. It wasn't the color we liked. It had 13,000 more miles on it. So as much as I drive, that's important at this stage of things. So I simply looked at him and I said, look, if you're willing to eat 5,000, would you just eat 2,000 and put a hitch on the car for me? So he absolutely agreed to that. He said, you'd be happy with that? I said, absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would. So through this whole process, we got the car we wanted at a better deal than I had originally agreed to, and got a hitch put on for free. It was done at the dealership with certified, factory parts, so it doesn't void warranty or anything like that. And God just has greatly blessed us. I took the car this past weekend. Actually, it had to be a quick one. I went Friday morning to Myrtle Beach, met with Jim, hooked the trailer up, drove all the way back to Atlanta that same day. So me and that car bonded really, really well. And the first trip out with it was straight to Myrtle Beach, hook up a trailer, straight back. Yep, we bonded. We spent some time together. But again, y'all, it's just trusting God. So this has gone longer than I had anticipated. So what we're going to do, this is going to be a part 2. The second part the follow-up we will do next week. So just listen, I just want to encourage you through our situations, through our stuff, that man, if we trust God in the middle of our process, He's going to smile upon us in ways that we can't imagine. So what does it mean to trust God? We have to believe in His character. Trusting God involves believing His inherent goodness, love, power, and faithfulness. I didn't lose focus at any time that He knows, He sees, and He cares. He knew what we were going through, but He also knew the outcome. And what He needed to see out of me was, how was I going to react to the act during the process? We have to have reliance on His word, y'all. We have to believe that God's promises are true and that He cannot lie. Over the 6 weeks, I've quoted scriptures like Psalms 9:10. Those who know your name, trust in you, Lord. You have never forsaken those who seek you. Psalms 37:5. Commit your ways to the Lord, trust Him, and He will do what He says He will do. Proverbs 28:26. Whoever trusts in their own heart is a fool, but the one who trusts in the Lord is kept safe. Jeremiah 17:7 and 8. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. We're going to get in the second part of how we trust God, and then the benefits of trusting God. That'll be in part 2 next week. But, on the backside of part of the reason that I did not we did not have a Best Day Yet podcast last week. Previous weekend, I was in Cincinnati doing vocals on a new project for one of our students, Dave Burdick. Super, super excited about this project coming out. Dave's an amazing person, number one, but great singer. Picks amazing songs. We had a blessed time through the whole process. So got in from that, and finalizing things between the hitch being put on the car and getting ready to go to Myrtle Beach, and just a lot was going on. And then, y'all, Wednesday of last week, all of our lives, all of our worlds were shaken with the tragic, senseless shooting and assassination of Charlie Kirk. Last week was hard, and I know most of you that are listening to this had those same feelings that we went through, and it was just I'd planned on, okay, we'll do the podcast a day later, so that was the plan. It was just a hard week. And on the backside of what I've shared with you today about the 6-week journey, once again, kind of those questions, God, why? What Charlie Kirk stood for, what he was doing. And God once again just said, look, trust me. Trust me. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. Isaiah 41:10 again, do not fear. It was easy last week to kind of get overcome with that word fear on Wednesday of last week. And I was talking with Pastor John Groves on staff at CNS, and I left out, you all, a key important factor to the story I shared today. I called John on that Wednesday, August the 6th, when I found out I needed a new engine, and I had just put 6,000 in the car. Or in the house, in the air unit. I had to call him because his son George, John's son George was getting married that weekend, and we had been invited. We were heading down for the wedding. I had to call John and tell him, man, I am so sorry, but I don't have a car to get there. We have another car that Jen and I share the two, but it's older, and I wouldn't trust to get it out between here and Florida and back. So he said something to me on the phone that day. He said, I had shared with him the same story I told you today about how God provided the trailer through Jim Quails. And John told me that day, he said, Rob, God wouldn't have given you the trailer if he hadn't already given you something or have something waiting for you to pull it. So through that 3 weeks, I stood on that, and he was right. He was right. He was right. He was right. So I was coming back from the hitch install, and I was talking to John on the phone, and he's like, man, do you know what just happened? I'm like, no. He said, Charlie, Kirk has just been shot. And he's like, we need to pray. And so we did. It really shook my wife, Jen, as well. And so kind of, again, some questions on, okay, God, why? But it's real easy in those situations here's what the enemy wants to do. He wants to operate us. He wants us to operate in fear. Again, Isaiah 41:10, do not fear. I've heard my sister speak and share it this way. The acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. So a lot of fear, the enemy trying to instill that last week, but no, we continue to trust God. We continue to commit our ways to the Lord. We take situations like this to raise us up. Part of my prayer is, God, give me the boldness that young man had to stand for you, to speak for you, to witness for you, to preach for you, to share for you. So that's what CNS is all about, people. We're all about just trying to make ourselves the best that we can be. We haven't talked music today, but you know what? It's about priorities. If our walk with the Lord isn't where it needs to be, then we're wasting our time trying to minister through music for him. So, today, again, I just want to try to encourage you, trust God through your process. His plan, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not into your own understanding. In all of our ways, if we acknowledge him, that leads us to his plan for our lives. The Bible also says that he has a plan for our lives, plans to prosper us, not to harm us. And if we commit our ways to the Lord and trust in him, he's going to do what he said he could do. When we begin to truly understand that and truly trust God, we find out on those worst days, you know what? It makes that day become your best day yet. Y'all be blessed, and we'll follow up on this next week. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.